Welcome back, dear dreamer. Let your eyes grow heavy. Let your breath slow and soften. With every gentle inhale, imagine the scent of lavender carried on the cool hush of night air. With every exhale, feel yourself drifting deeper into calm, safe stillness. You are safe now. You are warm. The world beyond is far away. And here, there is only quiet, only peace. Now, our story tonight sets sail beneath a moon-washed sky in a time long before clocks or cars, before glowing screens and hurried days. It begins in a tiny stone cottage nestled at the edge of an ancient village where cobbled roads give way to tangled hedgerows and dew-dusted fields. This is the home of Master, an old alchemist, wise in the ways of both herb and hush. Elric was no longer sought after for his tinctures of healing or mysterious powders. The village healers had long replaced him with newer methods, quicker cures. But no one, not a soul, could ever forget the fragrance of Elric's garden at dusk, because you see, behind that moss-covered cottage, hidden by a wall of quiet trees, was a dream garden. Not the kind with vegetables or wild roses, but a secret patch of soft earth where sleep herbs bloomed like memories and twilight itself. Elric had tended it for nearly 40 years. His hands, though weathered, moved with the same careful grace they had when he was a young apprentice, trained in the art of blending earth and spirit. Tonight, under the silver eye of the waxen moon, Elric moved slowly through his garden path. His soft leather boots brushed against time. His fingertips grazed feathery fennel. And as he reached for the nodding lavender stems, he hummed a melody so old it had no words, only warmth. In the medieval world, herbs weren't simply plants. They were symbols, secrets, silent spells tucked between root and blossom. Elric knew this deeply. He knew that valerian root, when steeped in warm milk, could hush even the busiest of minds. Mugwort, when placed beneath the pillow, was said to open the gates of lucid dreams. And blue vervain, nearly forgotten now, once wrapped in silk and placed on windowsills to keep away nightmares. He never rushed, never skipped a step. Each night, he gathered his herbs slowly, carefully, as if the moon were watching. Back inside the cottage, where a small fire crackled gently in the hearth, the air was thick with warmth and rosemary. Wooden shelves bowed under the weight of glass jars and curling scrolls. Bundles of dried sage hung upside down near the window. The floor creaked lovingly under his steps. He sat at a worn oak table, lit by candlelight, and began his evening ritual. A wooden mortar, a marble pebble, a soft, slow grinding sound, rhythmic and comforting. Lavender buds, chamomile flowers, a pinch of lemon balm. He crushed them gently, releasing their oils. The air now filled with a symphony of scents, meant only for dreams. Outside, the wind moved through the yew trees like a lullaby. Inside, Elric poured the powdered blend into a small linen sachet stitched with the symbol of the triquetra, a knot of eternal slumber. This sachet, like many others he had made, was not for sale. It would rest tonight beneath his own pillow, tucked with care. But before bed, he lit a single beeswax candle, carved long ago with symbols of peace. He smiled softly. The fire cracked once, then sighed into glowing coals, and Elric, wrapped in his woolen robe, stepped outside once more just to feel the night. There's something almost sacred about a midnight garden. The silence there isn't empty. It's full of promise. Even the plants seemed asleep, curling inwards, holding their breaths beneath stars. He knelt beside a tiny patch of night jasmine, which only bloomed after sunset. The petals, pale as milk, shimmered in the moonlight. In medieval times, many believed night-blooming flowers were doorways to the dream world, and Elric believed, too, not out of superstition, but from years of quiet observation. He never harvested from night jasmine. It was a watcher, not a worker. Instead, he simply sat and breathed and let the night wash over him like a spell. A soft owl call in the distance, the hush of leaves turning in the breeze, the cold stone beneath his hand, damp with dew. And so, the alchemist closed his eyes not to sleep just yet, but to listen to the ancient rhythm of the earth, to the soft hum of growing things, to the garden that dreamed beside him. In time, he would return inside, blow out the candle, and tuck the sachet beneath his pillow. He would sip from a small clay cup, warm with honeyed valerian tea, and sleep would come quiet, deep, and full of stars. And you, dear dreamer, as you lie here now, imagine your own sachet of lavender and lemon balm. Imagine the scent wrapping gently around your thoughts. Let it quiet them. Let it soothe. For tonight, like Elf, you are safe in the arms of the dark garden, and sleep is near.
Now, back to Elric, where the candles flicker low, and the garden hums with sleep. Inside his cottage once more, Elric dipped a quill into walnut ink. The parchment before him was old, browned at the edges like toasted bread. He had begun a new page, titled simply, Dream Mixture 67 for soft slumber and gentle thoughts. He wrote in a careful, looping hand, listing each herb he'd gathered in the precise hour it was picked, noting the way the leaves felt in his fingers, whether waxy, dry, or still dewy from the evening mist. This wasn't just for memory's sake. In the 13th century, alchemists believed the moments of harvest affected the plant's spiritual vibration. A sprig plucked under a full moon might encourage vivid dreaming, while one gathered on a rainy dawn could hush worries of the heart. And Elric believed, not in spells, no but in intention, in slowing down, in noticing, in honoring even the quietest parts of the world. Outside, the sky had turned a deeper blue, the kind just before dawn, where dreams are their most vivid. He carried the sachet up a creaking wooden staircase, each step releasing the scent of aged wood and rosemary oil. His bed was simple, just woolen blankets and linen sheets, but above it, hanging on the wall, was a strange little object, a medieval dream wheel, woven from vines and tiny bones. It was a talisman passed down from his master, said to protect the soul as it wandered through dreams. It turned ever so slightly in the breeze from the window, and Elric smiled, placing the sachet beneath his pillow, then sliding beneath the blankets with a long, quiet exhale. Before sleep, he always repeated a phrase softly, under his breath. I returned to the garden beneath my mind, and in his imagination, the garden appeared again, only this time bathed in starlight, untouched by time. Each leaf shimmered, each herb whispered. In medieval Europe, many believed that dreams were portals, not just to fantasy, but to healing and prophecy. The famed physician Hildegard of Bingen once wrote of sleep visions that showed the soul how to heal the body. Elric believed, in his quiet way, that dreams were more like mirrors, reflecting what the heart longed for, or feared, filtered through the language of symbol and scent. In his sleep, Elric wandered a familiar path, through moon-kissed fields of poppies, past a quiet brook where water sang over smooth stones, and then into the garden once more, but not as it was in waking life. Here, the herbs were taller, nearly to his shoulders, their colors brighter than they could ever be by sunlight. And at the center of the garden stood a wooden door. He never opened it. Not yet, but each dream it was closer waiting. Patient. Back in the waking world, the cottage remained utterly still. The fire had died down to glowing embers. The candle's flame had softened to a whisper of light. And just outside the window, the first songbird began its slow, drowsy tune. But Elric did not stir. He slept deeply, his breath, even the sachet still warm beneath his cheek. All around him, the herbs he'd gathered seemed to hum faintly, as if joining him in sleep, because plants to rest. They followed the circadian rhythm, hoosed like Ridu, closing their leaves, lowering their energy, waiting for dawn. And so the garden dozed, and the alchemist dreamed. You, too, dear listener, can return to that moonlit patch of earth. Close your eyes. Feel your bare feet on cool soil. Breathe in the perfume of crushed mint and wild violet. Let your worries be gathered like leaves in Elric's hands. Let your mind steep gently like chamomile in warm honeyed tea. Let sleep carry you into your own quiet garden.